Well, let me start by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Mother's Day is one of the biggest days we usually have at churches because we get to celebrate it and we get to honor what God has done and that He gives us moms. And, it's one of those days that it's actually one of the biggest days at church because kids want to go because mama makes them, which is, an interesting thing, the way that mom becomes that faith leader and everybody wants to go to church for mama. But happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. We're going to start a message today and do what we did last week, and there'll just be some quick little videos through the week going back to the message. But we're going to actually be in Proverbs chapter 31. Proverbs chapter 31 is a chapter about being a mom or being a woman. And it's one of those chapters that we look at and see the impossible in it often. And we talk about it often for Mother's Day because it is that virtuous woman that it talks about. But when we look back at it, we read it and we'll get there in just a second. But I want to share with you just some fun stuff about being a mom that my mom taught me, and maybe your mom taught you too. So I'm going to read you a few of them. First of all, my mom taught me how to appreciate a job well done. She said, if you're going to kill each other, do it outside. I just finished cleaning the house. She taught me about religion. Said, you better pray that'll come out of the carpet. She taught me about time travel. Said, if you don't straighten up, I'm going to knock you into the middle of next week. Taught me about logic. Because I said so, that's why. My mom taught me about foresight. Make sure you have clean underwear on in case you get in an accident. My mom taught me about irony. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. My mom taught me about the science of osmosis. Shut your mouth and eat your dinner. She taught me about stamina. You'll sit there until all those vegetables are gone. I have to tell you this. I do these jokes sometimes and my mom gets mad and says, well, I never said that. Yes, you did, Mom. No, just kidding. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Anyway, so here's a few more of these. She taught me about weather. This room looks like a tornado went through it. It taught me about the circle of life. I brought you into this world, and I can take you out. She taught me about behavior modification. Stop acting like your father. She taught me about envy. There are millions of less fortunate kids in this world who don't have wonderful parents like you do. She taught me about anticipation. You just wait till your father gets home. She taught me about receiving. You're going to get it when you get home. And she taught me about medical science. If you don't quit making those faces, your face is going to freeze that way. A few more. Some of these I just want to pick out a couple more. I have lots of these. But she taught me about wisdom. When you get to be my age, you'll understand. And the last one, she taught me about justice. One day you'll have kids, and I hope they turn out just like you. Anyway, moms are moms. And it's one of those things that we don't celebrate enough, but this is one of those times that we get to celebrate on Mother's Day. Even in quarantine and lockdown and everything going crazy, we still get to go back and look at our moms. And moms have a difficult job already. Moms have a difficult job, whether they are career people and working outside the home, or whether they're working in the home, or whether they're trying to raise the family, or just take care of the household, or volunteer in the community, whatever it is. Moms are busy, and recently, moms have been extremely busy. Their whole lives have been turned upside down for these moms with kids at home and trying to do school and figure out everything that's going on with that, plus trying to, keep the house together and calm down and keep everybody safe and in the house and, calm dad down from wanting to go crazy from all the quarantine and everything else. But if anyone believes that moms don't work very hard, I suggest you keep your mouth shut. Because it's not a safe thing to even say. But when we get into Proverbs chapter 31, it talks to us about the virtuous wife. And I'm going to read just a little bit of it here in Proverbs chapter 31, starting in verse 10. It says, who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. But it says in verse 11, the heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household. Happy Mother's Day. We got snow. Anyway, verse 20. For all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. As I said, this is a fun verse or a fun chapter that we look at because there's so much good stuff in there. But for somebody to be all of these things is a little outrageous to think of somebody who can do all these things and be this type of person. And it's not meant to set up this lofty standard that we try to hold people to. But it gives us examples of things that not just moms, but everybody. But when we're talking about with moms, that they strive to be. They strive to be that person who loves and cares for the family. And I love that it says that the kids and the father call her blessed, because that to me is hilarious, because the kids and the father tell her that she is blessed. Why is she blessed? Because she has such a wonderful family. The whole thing has so much just humor to it, but such good direction too. And one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that the mom's work is never done. Mom's work is never done. It keeps going. And we look through this chapter and it comes up with all sorts of these things. It says, she sews and she shops and she cooks and she gardens and she takes all this and she's selling land and purchasing things and making clothes. And it actually says she makes all these nice clothes for everybody else, but her clothes are honor and strength. So everybody else gets nice clothes and she goes with, honor and strength are the things that she has for her clothes. And it talks about all that. It talks about her getting up while it's still dark to prepare food for the whole family, and her lamp doesn't go out at night, and she watches over the affairs of the household and doesn't eat the bread of idleness, so she's not lazy. And it goes through all these things that sets up this woman who works so hard. And here in Proverbs, that this woman's not only taking care of her house, taking care of the kids, taking care of her husband, also has outside work and a couple of jobs that she's doing that it sets up. And the Bible gives it very clearly that a mom's work is never done. A woman's work is never done. A mom's work is never done here. And she's doing all of this, but it comes down to that one thing. A woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. So here we look at this and we get to celebrate moms and celebrate all they do for us. And as they love and nourish the family and take care of the family and the kids and the husband and be there now to be the teacher and the director of activities and the nurse and safety director and all these kind of things. The mom's work is never done. And the Bible praises her for that, praises her for being willing to sacrifice for her family and for the Lord. So we're going to talk about a few more things that this brings out about moms over the next 4 days. I hope next few days. I hope that you'll kind of tune in and watch those other little videos. But for now, make sure it's Mother's Day. Make sure that you thank your mom for all that she has done for you, because the sacrifices were enormous from birth, and they don't stop. A mom's work is never done.